Hello, everyone. Well, it's 6:55. We'll get started here in about 5 minutes. So get some popcorn, get your favorite beverage, and we'll get started here 7 o'clock. Thank you. All right, very good. Welcome, everyone. Let me get my notes up here. Welcome to the SLSRC meeting, the May meeting. We've got, I'm not really sure how many people we've got streaming. Last time I checked, there was about 30 or 35. Again, my name is Kyle, AA0Z. Thanks for being here. Hope that your family, you and your family are safe in these weird times that we live in. As we open up the city, just and the surrounding areas, just make sure that you're still wearing your masks out in public and protecting yourself, your fellow neighbors, your friends, your family. YouTube chat. So we've got a YouTube chat over on the other side, over on that side. Maybe it's on that side. I'm not really sure. You have to have a Google account, and I think you have to sign up for a YouTube account for you to chat. But I think most of you do. To put a chat message or a post in the chat, after you create the message, put your call sign and your name at the end of it, so we know who you are. And then the stream might be in standard definition. If you want to see it in high definition, there's a cogwheel down there that you can choose what definition. If you want to see everyone's shiny face in HD, you can change it to HD. Bill Carroll says we hit 40. All right, good deal. And then also, please subscribe to the channel down below and hit the like button. That helps promote the channel. That helps promote the club and all of the presentations that we put on the club YouTube channel. So the more likes and the more things you do on stream on YouTube, the higher in the algorithm we get, and people know about the club. And whenever they search St. Louis Ham Radio, the club comes up. So it's a little bit of promotion here. So this is where, in the normal meeting, we would go around the room and introduce everyone. If everyone wanted to just kind of give a howdy in the chat, we'll read some of the people that are here off. I know that a lot of people have been checking in already. If I go back up here to the top, we got Dale and Rebecca, Dale Holloway, Rebecca, Bill, our presenter, Larry Davis, Dolores is here, Mark Hall's here, Robert Graham, Pam Caldwell, and Bob Caldwell. Tina's here. Hello, Tina. Rick, W0RCF is here. Ira, good to see you. George, good to see you. Got Larry Kiefer. Roland, W0RL. Hello, Roland. How are you? Jim, KK0GT. How's that tower coming? Who else? George Schindler, WB0IIS. Key member of the engineering committee. Randy, N0RBB. Brendan, Kevin, KE0KEV. Josh, BYD. Got Jeff, KE0TTH checking in. Ed, Bob, W0EJO. Hello, Bob. Ken, K0SCO. Christopher Paul, KE0YUX. And Joan, KE0. Zed, Charlie Tango. David, Bill Flourish. All right, keep them coming. Marty, N0KMK. N0KMK. Oh, yeah, that's Steven. Sorry, Steven. Yeah, I saw the Christopher, and I just automatically went to the call sign. Sorry, Steven. KE0YUX. We'll give it a few minutes here. Usually the YouTube, me streaming out to YouTube, and whenever you see it, is about a 7 to 10 second delay. So I got to wait here for the chat to pop up. Victor, KC0BYE. Hello. Well, we'll call some more people out as the meeting goes on. Is there any new techs or upgrades in the last month? I know that it's kind of hard to test and upgrade or get your license here. If you go to hamstudy.org/sessions, I think that they have some online streaming avenues. I'm sorry, online streaming. I've got online streaming on my mind. Online testing avenues that you can upgrade or get your tech license. Might want to take a look at that. Cliff is going to give us some more information about that. But is there any new techs or upgrades? Anybody upgrade to general or extra in the last month or a couple months? Wait here for the chat to catch up. And if you're a first-time attendee, David, W0DCX, passed the extra March 5th and joined the bottom part of the CW bands. Very good. Congrats, David. Whiskey 0, Delta, Charlie, X-Ray. Very good. And if you're new to the club, welcome. I know that this is not the best conditions that we've ever been in. Bill Florge upgraded to extra in early March. Congratulations, Bill. I know that you've been working on that for a while, so that's great. Bill, your call is W0WAN, right? And if you're a first-time attendee, welcome. We will hopefully resume in-person meetings soon, as soon as we... KD0WAN. Thanks, Bill. Sorry, I was missing some characters there in the front. Kilo Delta 0 WAN upgraded extra early March. Silent keys. I don't know of any silent keys. Does anyone want to announce some silent keys in the chat? If so, please do that now, and we will let everyone know. I'm not seeing any, so that's good. All right, moving on. SLSRC website. So if you go to the web, let me see if I can pull this off here. Everyone can see. So here's the SLSRC website. It's a pretty good website. Tina maintains this. Just wanted to let everyone know. This is at slsrc.org. You can find all of the updated information about the club on this website. If you want to sign up for the mailing list, you go all the way down here to the bottom here and put your name, your last name, your call if you've got one, enter your email address, and that will sign you up for our mailing list. So that's how you get on the mailing list. So if you want to know about upcoming stuff, that's where you go. That's our primary way of communicating to our members. Let's see, what else? Facebook. We've got a Facebook. Here's our Facebook here. That is also active. Rebecca maintains that. You can see here we've posted the link to the stream here. So sign up, follow our Facebook account. We've got a Twitter account. Here's our Twitter account, at SLSRC. And then, of course, our YouTube account. So you can come here and smash that subscribe button. And then if you hit the bell there, it'll tell you when we have a new upload. And then also, another thing I wanted to point out, there is an STL Hams Facebook page. And there's a lot of good stuff here on STL Hams. If you've got a question about, I got to get rid of a tower, does anybody have a radio that that I need help with, you can post those general questions on the STL Hams Facebook page, and it's got a lot of activity. You will probably get, oh, Gateway Electronics is open. Very good. That's, I forget his name. Anyway, he's a character in there. So, STL Hams, if you want to join that group, that is a good group to join. Let me get back to my screen here. All right. Let me get back to the chat here too, see if there's anything in the chat that I'm missing. Nope. Same stuff. All right. Some club announcements here. So Ken Tate resigned as secretary for the club. We want to thank him for his service to the club, and we are looking to fill that position. So if you are interested in filling that position or know somebody who would like to fill that position, make sure you get their buy-in, but you can contact somebody on the board, or you can send an email to info@slsrc.org and let us know. So we are looking to fill the secretary position for the club, and that will run until the end of the year, and then the election for the secretary will happen in November, and that is an electable position. Woo, tongue-tied today. Along with some other board positions. I know president is up and secretary, and I think that there is another one that is up too. I'm sure Bill will let us know. He will probably correct me in the chat. Yeah, Jeff, the Gateway Electronics is in Chesterfield Mall. You're right. Hey, Carl, WA4AQW. Welcome. Another announcement here. The SLSRC breakfasts are canceled, but we are getting together on Google Meet and kind of hanging out, talking ham radio. You bring your own breakfast. We had one 2 weeks ago, and we're going to have another one. We're going to have it on the third Saturday of the month, and we will send out the Google Meet link via email when it gets closer to time. So we are starting to meet virtually. I think we had 20 people or so in the first one, which was great. We had it was kind of just like a round robin type of thing, telling people what they've been doing. It was good to see everybody, so we're going to do that again. It's going to be nice. Hi, Charlie. KH2OP. Bill says, bring your own breakfast. And if you have a bad server, that is on you. That is correct. That is a good observation. Hey, Bike MS is coming up September 12th and 13th. If you want to volunteer, email Rebecca, KC9CIJ, or you can send info@slsrc.org an email, and we'll get you the right information. That is a really good public service event. It is still on, and we need a lot of hams, a lot of communicators. So email Rebecca if you want to get involved. And then also I wanted to talk about the canceled ham fests as we know them right now. So Egyptian Ham Fest in June is canceled. The Halloween Ham Fest in October is canceled. I have not heard anything about the Washington Ham Fest, and I believe that one is in July. Winterfest is still on. We have not canceled Winterfest. That is, if you've heard that Winterfest is canceled, that is false. We have not canceled Winterfest. The committees are meeting, and we are calling vendors, and as of this time, Winterfest is still on. That is all the updates that I had. I'm going to pause here for the chat. Oh, Rebecca says the West Central Illinois Hamfest in Carlinville has also been canceled. Thank you, Rebecca. I forgot about that one. I didn't put that one in my notes. Anything else in the chat that we hadn't covered already that either people have questions on or have another announcement? Speak now or forever hold your peace. All right, I'm going to bring in some leadership here. That's not the one I want. It's right here. And we're going to start off with Paul. Paul, you want to come off mute here? And he is going. Yep. Can everyone hear Paul? Oh, I got to get out of the frame. Hang on. I think you're up, Paul. So the floor is yours.
Very good. I want to say hello to everybody that's on the net tonight or on the meeting tonight. It looks like we're now at 46, so that's good. The reason I wanted to be on the group tonight is to announce the results of the first ever SLSRC equipment grant program. As you may recall, a couple months ago, we announced that we had been given some equipment from a Silent Key family, with the provision that we get it to a ham that was going to be using it to expand their knowledge of the radio art. So we ran a equipment grant program with requesting people to submit applications to receive that equipment at no cost. And we did, there was a pretty good response to it. We had 7 folks apply for the HF equipment and 3 apply for the VHF equipment. And everybody that did respond did a great job with responses. I think it's pretty unanimous across the board, the leadership group, that it was tough to make a decision and to grade these. What we did do was blindly grade them, so no one had any idea whose comments they were looking at. So, with no further ado, the results. For the HF equipment, an ICOM IC725 with an Astron power supply. The winner is Larry Kiefer, WB0 SMF. Congratulations, Larry. I know you're on the meeting tonight. And then for the VHF, which is an FT 2500 mic, that is Stephen Paul. Stephen, I saw you're on here tonight as well. I know that each of you have been reached out to and trying to make arrangements to get the equipment to you. Rebecca's coordinating that. So I congratulate all of you, both of you, and thank the people who did send in grant applications. And hopefully we will do this again in the future. I think it was a very well received opportunity. If you have any comments about how it went, please don't be shy and reach out and tell us what you thought about how the process went. With that, I'll turn it back to you, Kyle.
All right, very good. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it. Let's see, who is up next? Bill Carroll. We'll go to you next here. Oh, hang on, Bill. Are you on mute?
I forgot. Sorry about that. I was on mute. My wife so often tells me to shut up, I forgot to not shut up. Anyway, just want to talk about membership a little bit. We are doing well with 240 members currently, and just shy of 75% of our memberships are ARRL members. That's great. I would like to see more members come through. I have taken a look at our daily nets that we were doing. We had our last one yesterday. We'll talk about that in just a second. And also on our Tuesday night net. And we are right around 1/3, maybe 1/5 of the folks who check into our nets are not members yet. So take a look at our website. Take a look at everything that SLSRC does. It's a great club. We do all sorts of things. We do more when we're not isolated. And come enjoy it. I think you would find that it's a worthwhile opportunity for you. Now, to talk about our stuck at home net that we are done with. So we ran it through and we said we were going to continue it until further notice. And as a board, we decided on Monday that because of things opening up, our numbers have kind of dwindled a little bit and hung out. So we decided Thursday was the end of it. Since we were going to have a club meeting today, we can make that officially if you had not already heard by going to the Stuck at Home net. But we're encouraging everybody to go to the 146.970 repeater. That was the repeater that got the most check-ins during our Stuck at Home net. And we want you to go there at 8 o'clock on most days. If we've got a meeting going on, we probably won't be as popular there. But, so skip it on Tuesday and like these meetings here. But during the week, go to 146.970 at 8 o'clock and just have a conversation with who shows up. Just have a nice conversation. It's a very informal net. Do your best to make sure everybody gets a chance to jump in there. So put pauses in there between each other while you're talking. And let's just improve talk on the radio by doing that routinely. So that's my goal. I will admit there's a chance I won't be on it tomorrow because Rebecca and I will be coming back from Paducah, Kentucky. So it depends on how fast I drive. If I'm in a rush, maybe I'll let her drive because she likes to drive faster than me. That's all I got. Kyle, why don't you take it back before I get in more trouble?
All right, very good. Let me switch here. I got a ton going on. Rebecca, you want to come on and give finance update?
Okay, well, currently our checking account is sitting at $14,233.97. We have $3,078.28 in PayPal. Our interest fee is $25,731.46, and we have $9,004 on our education. So our total is $52,067.66.
Okay.
While I have the
Hang on, Rebecca. Tell Bill to mute his microphone.
He got it.
Okay.
Do I need to repeat anything?
No, I think we're good.
Okay. While I have the floor, I want to remind everybody that on the 30th of May, we're having our next repeater games, and we're going to play Scrabble. So go to our website, slsrc.org, if you haven't seen the email that came out this week, and get the directions and come along and play with us.
All right. Very good. Thank you, Rebecca. All right. Who is next here? We've got Cliff. Let's go to Cliff and get an update on education.
Hold on a second. Am I live here?
You're live. You're Memorex.
Okay,
You're
good.
live.
Well, I think everybody knows that when we started out the year, we had very aggressive plans on classes. And if everything had been normal, we would have had 27 new techs in March, and I think about 7 or 8 upgrades in May for general. And upcoming in 2 weeks, we would have 8 extras. And that fell apart, of course. What we're going to do is I'm going to show a little website here in just a second. But we're going to set up Paul and I are going to set up I guess you call it a video conference workshop for the general class because there's only 7 or 8 in there. And unfortunately, the ARRL is not extending the current question pool for the extras. So we'll be sending out new study guides. And there are a couple of people that are going to do online testing because there are several VE organizations nationwide that are doing it and been very successful. Matter of fact, I know there were 3 technicians that checked in KF0, so you know they're brand new on the nightly nets, and they all did it online, so it is working. As far the tech and for the tech and extra, we'll be planning a class later in the year, hopefully late summer, early fall. We don't know when the auditoriums or rooms will be available. As far as local VE testing, the Cliff Cave, they got information from the library that no testing, none of the rooms will be available until July, and possibly even August. So that's on hold also. If you're interested in online testing, and this is the best I can do for a slide presentation. Let me see. Is that in the?
No.
No, keep moving it.
There you go.
There we go. Kyle mentioned this a minute ago. Hamstudy.com. Actually, it's hamstudy.org. I typed it wrong. /sessions. And we'll be sending a link out. There's something in the works to go on the email and also on the website. I think Monday is scheduled. So if anybody is interested in taking online testing, there's a lot of them that do it. They have information on what you need and how to prepare for it. And it's working. So that's really it about classes. Mentoring workshop. This is a save the date. June the 5th. That's the first Friday. 7 p.m. 14685 repeater. And in the meantime, if anybody has any questions, whether it's tech, general, or extra, email me, education@slsrc.org. That's about testing or study guides, if you want the study guide for any of them that are current or even the new extra. And if I can't answer the question, or if I can, it'll be the easy answer. And if I can't answer it, I'll forward it to Paul and Kyle and people that know a whole heck of a lot more than I do. And that's about it. Hope to see everybody in person pretty soon.
Okay. Thank you, Cliff. Appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. Moving on to Mark. Mark is our field day chair, and I'm sure that everyone is wanting to know what we're doing for field day. So tell everyone our plans on field day, Mark.
Well, sadly, the field day committee and the board met on Sunday and Monday, and we feel that the safety of our members is the most important thing, so we are canceling field day this year. The ARL still intends to hold it. We would still encourage you to participate in that, and we are currently evaluating other activities that we can do as a club to augment and enhance the overall field day experience. One thing, we've always had a dinner, and since we can't meet for dinner, we can't meet for breakfast, we're going to have a virtual dinner. So just like Bill said, if your server's bad, you only have yourself to blame. So we're going to do that at, I believe, probably 5 o'clock on that Saturday night. But we're going to have an email come out in the next couple of days or so about what's going on and our cancellation. And we will follow that up with another email with information about the activities that we are going to extend the field day with. So be looking at the website. We'll post it there. Obviously, we'll share it on Facebook, Twitter, and St. Louis Hams. So if you have any questions, email fieldday@slsrc.org. Thanks.
So we're going to just, so everyone knows, we are going to cancel field day, but we are going to have activities that you can participate at home, but they're going to be club-based activities, and we're going to have some contests and some other things that you can potentially do during the day. Even if you're a tech or you're a general, we've got stuff planned for you that you can do and participate in field day as a club. But then I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, that if you participate in field day and want to see your name and your score in QST, you will have to send your log individually, correct?
That is correct. The nice thing is if you list St. Louis and Suburban Radio Club as your club, that will be listed along with your entry. So if anybody in the club submits, you'll be able to kind of compare and see how you rank.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it.
Good luck, everybody.
All right. Let me come back to my screen. All right. Any more announcements from the floor? Let me get my chat window up here. Oh, there was a question here. Is there a club account in field day that individuals can participate as a team? Well, I think that's Victor. Victor, we do have a club account, but you cannot use it at your house. We have to have trustee and control operator there. So the ARL is suggesting that you operate field day as yourself. You put in St. Louis and Suburban Radio Club as your club, and they are going to tally some things in the background, and then you can see how you did between your fellow hams for field day within your club. So Mark just cleared it up. The ARL field day rules indicate that you must use your own call sign when you operate. Yep. So there's not going to be any go-to stations. More information is going to come out on what we plan on doing. So be looking for that. All right. Anything else? Any more questions before we get to Bill and the presentation. Just want to make sure that we got everybody's concern or anybody's announcements that they wanted to say to the group. If not, I'll write them down and I will get to them after the presentation. So, we've got Bill Cowley. He is going to present on adding a Panadapter to your radio. So, a little bio here. Bill started an amateur radio in the early 70s while in high school. Lived on a farm and set up a 50-foot tower. And he was licensed at Whiskey November 8, Oscar United Victor. I got that right, Bill?
Uniform Victor.
Uniform Victor. Sorry, Uniform Victor. Whiskey November 8, Oscar Uniform Victor. His uncle, N0WGC, got him started in amateur radio and was also in Navy Mars. Bill completed an electrical engineering degree at Michigan State, but he let his amateur radio slip, and with his first job in California, he took up scuba diving, and I think that probably took up all of his time. Bill has worked in the computer field at a large and small businesses throughout the years, retiring in 2017, studied for his radio license and passed his tech, his general, and his extra that year, and is now currently known as November 0 Whiskey Golf Charlie. His initials. I think that's his initials.
That would be correct.
All right. Very good. So I'm going to bring Bill on, and he's going to teach us all about how to add a Panadapter. Let me get to the screen here. How to add a Panadapter to your radio. So, Bill, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you very much, Kyle. I appreciate this. I've been a future teacher member and worked at a college as an instructor, and I always like to share what I can come up with and what I learned. And adding a Panadapter only took me 3 months to figure out all the pitfalls. And I bought a new laptop just recently, and it took me 15 minutes to get the laptop working with both radios so that I have here. So I was of the opinion that I liked the waterfall display that was on the radio, but I really wanted something that was a little bit better, more complete, more control, and would help me find my QSOs a lot faster. So let me get started here with, let me see, make a presentation, share a window, and let's see, where'd it go? Huh. Yeah, I got it. I got it. And so I put together this PowerPoint adapter for an older radio. And it doesn't necessarily have to be an older radio.
Hey, Bill, you're not sharing your screen.
Ah. Down to the bottom. Come on, menu. Oh, there we go. Now share.
There you go. Yep, it's coming up. Yep, now you want to do full. There you go. You want to go back? There you go. All right, good deal.
All right, so this works with older radios that have what are referred to as CAT control. The CAT control may be an RS-232 or a USB. 2 of my radios have USB. One of my radios has CAT control, and I haven't gone back to take a look at that one yet because it's not one of the ones that is currently supported by some of the configuration that I've got. So how to add a Panadapter to an older radio? A Panadapter is a device that allows you to visually see the RF spectrum, waterfall being received by the ham radio or directly from the antenna. Panadapter may add more features to your radio. And what that means is the Panadapter may upgrade some of your receiver capability that you've got with some of the things that you're doing. So there seems to be 2 major steps. connecting the RF signal from the radio or antenna to the Panadapter, and using Panadapter control the radio or the radio to control the Panadapter. I selected, because of the wonderful price of free OmniRig, and I found out that SDR Play works very nicely with OmniRig, and there is whole kinds of other software that also works with OmniRig. So the first problem is that I had an SDR Play dual, which means it has a dual antenna, and hooked up with a USB to the laptop, is shown over here on the one side. On the right side, I've got a Yaesu 991A going through an antenna tuner to an antenna. And this worked out pretty good. I could control the radio, but it causes a couple of different difficulties. One of the problems that you should be able to see here is that the antenna tuner has to be tuned to the band that you're actually watching. And if you're using the RF out or the IF out, radio frequency out, or the intermediate frequency out to your radio, and feeding that into your SDR dual, you also may be limiting some of the bandwidth. So the IF out limits the bandwidth, the RF out doesn't. The antenna tuner may also reduce the signal that is coming into the unit. So the question is how can you fix that? So this makes it really nice. Just take the SDR dual and hook it up directly to your antenna. This works really great until you hit the microphone key and start transmitting, and dump that 50 to 100 watts into your SDR Play. And as Cliff says, your goal is to keep the smoke in the radio. Well, this will ruin your SDR Play immediately. So the transmitter output feeds into the SDR input. That's a negative. You do not want to do that. Your life expectancy of the SDR Play will not work shortly after you transmit. So I came up with a device called a MFJ 1708B as in Baker SDR, and that automatically switches and grounds the SDR Play dual every time that you transmit. It's got RF sensing built into the box so that it gives that switching capability, or you can hook up RF control cable directly into the MFJ 1708B, which is up here on the side, and that will also switch it over and ground it. All right, so let's add OmniRig to control the software. And one of the people that explained OmniRig was that it was to add, let me see, oh, it's that camera, add a layer between your computer and your software, and it controls all the signals for the different applications coming in. So this makes it really nice to do that. And then with a laptop, you add a USB cable. I suggested it be a USB cable with built-in ferrite cores in them to eliminate and also be shielded to eliminate any RF that might come in. So the question is what rigs might be supported by OmniRig? And I have a couple of radios. It just recently added this FTDX101D, which I have, and the FT991 or the 991A is also, but you may also have some other radios, and there are many other radios up here that are a little older. If it's older than the year 2000, it may not be on this list and may not be supported. So pick out your radio that you've got and see whether OmniRig supports it. All right, so once you've got the OmniRig working, and there are many other programs, and I can tell you right off the top of my head, I know this list is not complete. because I have been working with the FT8 program. I think it's WXSIT or something like that. It's not in this list, but it does work, and it does have a setting in it so that you can do that. And that's my next step, is to get that to work. I'd also like to try to get this SSTV tool working so that I can download from the satellites as they're going over, or the ham radio station that's on the space station, as well as some other software applications. So there are 3 places, and this caused a lot of problem for me to get the communication set correctly for OmniRig. First of all, you got to install the USB or RS-232 drivers for your radio if needed. You've got the communications of the transmitter. What are the settings in the communications for the transmitter? The communications of the USB device in the laptop, and the communication settings within OmniRig. So if you don't get all those matched, you can work really hard, and it makes it really tough. All right, so the first thing I did is I went to my Yaesu FT991A as an Apple, and I went down to menu 31 for the cat rate, and I found out it was at 4,800 bits per second. Now, obviously, that could be changed to something faster, and after I get done doing the presentation, I'll probably do that. But I kind of wanted to stick with everybody's YouTubes that I was watching and everything else. And then you got the cat RTS has to be enabled. And you also want the cat TOT, which I think is a timeout setting of 10 milliseconds, and collect that information. So on your computer, there are 2 drivers that are set up by the Yaesu, both my FT991A and the FTX 101D. They set up 2 drivers. And there's a driver here that is a enhanced driver and a standard driver. And it took me a while to figure out all the communication is supposed to be with the enhanced driver. The standard driver is where I want to do the FT8 and that sort of stuff with those applications that are bypassing OmniRig. And as you can see over here on the right side of the screen, 4,800 baud, 800 or 8 data bits, no parity, 2 stop bits, and no flow control. And this is part of the COM port that is set inside the computer. So I had to make some setting changes in this to make that happen. Then there is an OmniRig client software that I found out about that allows me to do troubleshooting. You bring up the OmniRig client software and you hit the open dialog button up here in the top, and it opens a screen, and you can have OmniRig supported for 2 different rigs. And of course, you have to enter your rig type, the COM port that you were going after, the speed rate, the data ports, the parity, the stop bit, the RTS and the DTR. How is the handshaking supposed to go back and forth between OmniRig and the control port, and the polling interpol of 200 milliseconds and timeout of 100 milliseconds. Then I bought in Play, I'd already purchased an SDR Play and purchased one of these devices. It comes in 3 different versions. There's one version for $100, and the one that I bought, I had 2, was the dual, and it's closer to $200. And there is SDR Uno software to control that, and the software is free. The SDR Play is not. So that makes those 2 have to work in a combination. So when you get the SDR Uno up and going, this is what your screen looks like. and you've got a really nice wide waterfall that's going here. This is a PowerPoint, so it's not live. And as I replace the frequency up here and I select my bands over here, I can change whether I have AM, FM, CW, dual sideband, lower sideband, upper sideband, and the radio automatically slews to that setting. So I also have RF gains. I can select what input that I want. So I have an awful lot of features that I can use with the SDR Uno that makes just a wonderful receiver out there. So, and as I said, we have you've got an RF gain, so you've got slides instead of knobs. You can add other virtual receivers out there and set up different settings for those. The main screen that I play with is the one where I type in the frequency, and this goes all the way up to 2 gigahertz, I believe, and have an antenna set up for that so that you can play with different things. Here I have something that is in the UHF band. Yes, and it was probably the favorite band that I play with. And as I switch around to different bands, the 2-meter band, this changes over to FM. The filters, the settings, and everything that I have in here automatically slew to that. So back to this band, you've got to go into the settings up here to make it work with SDR Uno. And you don't want the cat control. What you want is the origins button, and there are 3 check marks that need to be checked. And if you have those 3 check marks checked, it should start working with OmniRig, and that will get the communication going. So there were a few YouTubes that I checked out and relied on heavily. We're not going to put those here. But here's the links to those. And I went through those several times to try to get all this set up. So pricing of this, you've got the MFJ 1708 if you want to take your SDR. That was roughly about $120. The SDR Play can be anywhere from $100 to I'm thinking $300. They just came out with an SDR DX, which is $200. The USB cables with the chokes and the shielding was probably about $10, and a miscellaneous SMA cable, a couple RF patch cables, and some Anderson poles. So you can see here, well under $400. You can have this set up and working with your radio with only a little bit of frustration. So what I'll do is I'll stop sharing. And I think what Kyle's going to do is to move me over to my camera. And I'm going to, I have a live screen here.
Yep. So you're on your camera now.
I'm on my camera now, and yep. I think
just don't make us seasick.
Oh yeah. Okay, so this is live on my laptop, and you can see here that we're on at 7 megahertz. So if I click on the 40-meter band, I'm going to get 40-meter band, and that makes us come in here. And I have a frequency up here of 1.5, and on my SDR Uno, I've got 1.5, and as I change the frequency on the radio, it changes it in Uno. And as I come up here and click on 80 meters, that takes me to 3.75, and my radio has gone over to 3.75 as well. The SDR, the MFJ, that's got a little SMA connector.
Hey, Bill.
Yep.
Pull your phone back a little bit so we can get like a bigger, and point it down. You're not in frame. There you go.
Okay, I can't see what I'm doing with the way I'm
Yeah. It
doing
looks
this,
good.
so.
It looks good now.
So this requires 12 volts, and I bought the model that's got the SMA connector on it, so I wouldn't forget which cable goes where, although they're well marked with antenna and receiver. And there is a control knob up here in the top, which can be hooked up to your radio, which can be used to automatically switch it and ground out the SDR. The SDR is over here, and let me see if that gives you a good shot. And it's hooked up with the other end of the SMA connector, and it's also set up with a USB that comes with a laptop. So this is the setup that I've got, and what I did is I brought all this up to my living room and set it up here so that I'd have plenty of light and a good background. So the next question is anybody got any questions?
Yeah. Very good. Let me switch over to your. Are you done? Whoa, like a roller coaster.
Yeah, I understand.
Did you stop your video on? Let's see. Nope, you didn't. There it is. Okay, I'm back on your main computer there.
Okay, and I just brought that back up again so I can see what's going on.
Okay. Any questions? I had posted that in the chat a little bit, so we will see if there's any questions on your presentation.
And I'd be willing to help anybody in the St. Louis area try to make this work. I could take over their computer. I've got a lot of IT skills to be able to do that and help them try to figure it out.
Bill Florich, what antenna system are you connected to for this system?
I have an end-fed antenna that goes right along the peak of my roof. I have HOA problems, and I just received an alpha antenna today, a magnetic loop, and that's what I've got connected up right now. It's in here on the living room floor, and I think it's going to do a little better when I get it outdoors and I play with it a little bit better.
George asks, the SDR Uno display is the SDR Uno what displays the waterfall?
Yes.
Rick asks, did you have any problems with the MFJ 1708B when you received it, and did it function correctly as received?
Yes. And I've ordered a second one. I ordered the SDR, and again, this is the model B, as in boy.
Yes.
With standard SL239 on all three connectors to be in my Go kit. And it's currently on back order.
Gotcha. How much again is the 1708?
The 1708 that I just bought with PayPal from MSJ was $132.
Gotcha. Okay.
That included tax and shipping.
Okay.
And you can also use that same device to hook up a second antenna that can go to my SDR Play and hook up to a second antenna so that as I transmit on a different antenna, it automatically grounds the input to the SDR Play to protect it.
Right. Gotcha. Victor asked, do you think it would work with an STL-SDR-RX, if you're familiar with that SDR-RX?
I am not.
Okay.
I'm sure there's more devices than this one. I'm kind of a threshold buyer, so I found something that looked like it was going to work and do what I wanted, and was recommended in several YouTubes. This was the one that was recommended, and so I went with it. And I once I found it, I didn't go looking for others.
Yeah. Oh, he just the RTL SDR. I think the answer is it will work with any SDR. Pretty much.
Yes.
as long as you get the SDR that will that receives in your frequencies that you want to listen on, because there are SDRs that are only VHF and UHF. There's SDRs that are only HF. So you have to make sure you get the right one, right, Bill?
Correct. And I believe this MFJ only goes up to maybe 6 meters. I don't think it's designed for 2 meters and 70 centimeters out there. And I do have, and I haven't played with yet, the little USB receiver that's like 25 to 30 bucks to try to make that work. I have made one of those work on my grandson's laptop, and I plan to try to get it to work on my laptop with SCR Uno. There's some very tricky questions, configurations, and installation programs that you've got to install to make that work.
Gotcha. Bill asks, have you used other radios with this configuration?
No, I have 3. They're all Yaesus. The other one has a RS-232 cat control, and I haven't been able to find the cable. And I haven't sat down to try to figure out how to make one. It's a 1990s radio, and actually I'd probably like to find a new home for it, because I don't think I need 3 radios. I think 2 is enough.
But is it true that any radio that you can get cat control out of would probably work?
Yes, there is an INI file that OmniReg requires, and you have to select that INI file, and that INI file is downloadable, and in that list that I showed, which is also on the website for OmniReg. So as long as your radio is listed there, I would say you would be able to get this to work.
Yeah. Brendan asks, if your SDR goes down that low, or it should work with a ham it up converter. Oh, so he's probably asking if your SDR goes down that low, or it should work with a ham it up converter. I'm assuming that he means you can up convert or down convert accordingly.
Yes, and I accidentally took interest in that ham up converter and looked at it before I realized what it really was. And I didn't need it, but it was designed to change the frequency spectrum down into the area where your SDR works. And so consequently, I already had those frequencies covered and didn't need to do that.
Right. Rick asks, how does the sensitivity of the SDR-DX, he corrected it, SDR-DX compared to your Yaesu transceiver 891? Or the Yaesu transceiver that you're pulling that RF from? Or the cat control, I'm sorry.
Okay, I believe the receiver of the SDR Play is better than the 991A, and sometimes I think it seems to be better than the 101. Sometimes I get fooled by the fact that my tuner is set in the loop and it's on a different frequency range, and so therefore I'm not getting as much of the signal coming through because the antenna auto tuner is set up and blocking out some of my signal, which is the reason I like this setup, because I'm actually seeing the raw antenna feed with the SDR Uno.
Yeah, very good. All right, any other questions? We had a rash of them, and then they kind of fell off. So I think that we're going to wait here another 10 or 15 seconds and see if anything pops up.
And Kyle, I think we talked about posting my presentation as a PDF on your website. You're welcome to do that.
So just send it to me, and we'll send it over to Tina, and we will upload it in your blog, your blurb about the meeting, and you can point everyone there, and we can upload it on, or point it to, go into STL Hams and point everyone to that so everyone can see it.
Okay, well, you've got the presentation I sent you a week ago, and Bill Carroll has also got it.
Okay, it hasn't changed at all?
No.
Okay. So what I'll do is I will convert it to a PDF, and we'll get it on the website, and then we will also put a link on STL Hams, and also a link to this YouTube video that people can watch the presentation and get some more information about the Panadapter, adding a Panadapter that they didn't get from the presentation, because you added a bunch of stuff and just giving us some insight.
One of the questions might be is how many people are out there interested in trying to do this at their ham shack?
Yeah. If you're interested and you want some advice, let me know, and I will pass your name on to Bill, and then you guys can talk shop about adding a Panadapter to your setup. If you're seeing this video now and you're not in the chat and you want to get some more information and you want to get a hold of Bill, just email info@slsrc.org and we'll get you we'll get you over to Bill. Mark Hall says that he's interested. Rick Philkoff, he's interested, and it looks like Victor is interested, but he is running Linux, so that might. I know that they do have Linux SDRs software out there, and Linux is supported.
And I think OmniRig also supports Linux.
Okay, very good. Jeff Greenwood says interested after he gets an HF. Have your call in my notes and contact you later. Dolores says that she's interested, so you're getting some hits here on people that are interested. You might want to. Are you on Facebook and on STL Hams, Bill?
Yes, I am on Facebook as Bill.Cowley. So that's facebook.com/Bill.Cowley.
Okay.
And I'm also in QST too. So, excuse me, QRZ. You can find my email address and stuff like that there.
Yep. So I'm going to put your call on the screen here, and they can go to your QRZ page and take a look and contact you there, right?
Yes.
Okay. Another question came in here. Are you familiar with the Win4 Yaesu software approach to a Panadapter? I'm setting up my FT1000MP and an FTDR 1200, and he's interested if he can get any help. And that's Jim, N0WGC.
Well, I'm not familiar with the Yaesu product. I kind of wanted to stay away. I ended up with what is it, HRO, and they wanted $100 a year for that. So once I got OmniRig and I got that working, I also thought this would be a little bit better because it was more than just Yaesu equipment. It would also cover Kenwood and ICOM and other applications as well.
Yeah, the great thing about that is it's not Yaesu dependent, right? So if you switch rigs in 4 or 5 years, you can take your stuff with you and hook it up to whatever transceiver that you have just purchased, right?
Absolutely. And Kyle, I have you to thank for turning me on to the SDR Play. You brought that up in a meeting that I was in attendance, and it wasn't long after I ended up buying one.
Oh, well, very good. I thank you. It's to tell you the truth, I have an SDR Play and hooked it up and messed around with it, and I think it's in a junk drawer somewhere. I will get it out one of these days and play more radio with it. But I did not know. I went to Hamvention or somewhere and found that 1708 or 1710 or whatever it is, and saw that and was like, That's exactly what I need. So I'm glad that MFJ came up with that that little device. That makes it so much more easier to add that Panadapter to your existing setup.
Correct. And of course, you could go to the RF output or the IF output of your rig until you get the 1708 B. And MFJ is about 2 weeks behind in shipment of those right now. So if you go to their website, it will take a while before you get one.
Gotcha. Another question that I had was, would you suggest, where would you suggest putting that MFJ device in line if you have a tuner? Where would you put it if you had a tuner?
I want to have the transceiver and then the tuner and then the MFJ. That way you're feeding directly off of the antenna. The tuner, I found it has problems. It filters out when I switch bands until I transmit and get the tuner to auto tune up to the new frequency. So it makes it a lot easier to see a lot more information unfiltered, if you will, by hooking the MFJ 1708B directly to the antenna.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I just wanted to get an opinion of someone who has done this more than I have. But yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
And that's the way I had it listed in the slides too. So you can go back to the slides, and it shows that in there.
Okay, gotcha. Very good. All right. Anything else in the chat? Bill, anything else that you've got?
No, nothing on my end. And thank you very much for allowing me to do this presentation. This is the first time that I've done it over a live or online. I do have another presentation on Monday to do the same thing. So I did the DX hogs, but I set everything up. I hauled it into there and set it up. So this was the first time I did live. I think it went really well. And I appreciate all the technical support that you provided, Kyle.
Yep, not a problem. Thank you for presenting. I'm glad that we could accommodate. And, you know, you got to use technology to your advantage, right? And just like adding a Panadapter, you've got the technology. You might as well utilize it if you can, right?
Absolutely. And I went out and bought another SDR play for my grandkids and a magnetic loop. And when I get to Kansas City to see them, I hope to get them working on ham radio here in the future.
Very good. All right. I think that is Mark Scott. I like the idea of splitting out. Okay, he's just making a comment. Mark says that I like to split, and I like the split antenna effort. It will work with any radio, even if it doesn't split out IF. Yep. So again, you can add this to any radio that you want. Yeah. All right, Bill. Thank you. I appreciate your presentation. I've got a few more things that I forgot before we for the general business meeting. If people want to hang on, I've got probably another 2 or 3 minutes. But again, thank you, Bill, and appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Yep. Thank you. All right. So, a few more things that I wanted to go over here. Let me get my list. A few contests that. Well, first I didn't do my engineering and website committee update. I just went right into Bill. So, we have been working as much as we can from home on the engineering committee. It's kind of tough with the virus not allowing us to get together. So we are trying as best we can to get organized. So whenever we can get together, we can hit the ground running. We did make an update to the 8.5 repeater during net mode. It was announcing the grandfather clock or the voice ID. We fixed that. It was a programming change. I'd like to thank Joe W0FY on catching that and getting that all configured. And then I really don't have an update on the website. It's out there. We're going to be updating the Winterfest website as stuff comes available, and we have information. Go out there and take a look at it. Some contests that you might want to be aware about. Let's see. Did I have contest calendar up here? Let me see if I got contest calendar up here. Contest calendar. Oh, I spelt it wrong, and it's not coming up for some odd reason. Anyway, so I wanted to mention some contests. You've got the Kentucky QSO Party. It's the first weekend in June, and then a big contest that you'll hear a lot of stations on the air, the ARL VHF June contest. That is June 13th and 15th. Stu Perry Top Band Challenge. That's 160 meters. That is the 20th and 21st. That is a popular contest. West Virginia QSO Party, June 20th and 21st. ARL Kids Day, that is the weekend before Field Day. Go and get your grandkids, your kids, your neighbor kids, your any kids, and get on the air. And there is going to be a ton of kids on the air calling CQ and searching and pouncing. So Kids Day, the weekend before, the Saturday before Field Day. Run for the Bacon QRP. If you like QRP, that's a big contest for QRP contesters. That is June 21st. And then, of course, Field Day, the 27th and 28th. And Mark gave an update on Field Day. And one last thing before we go. If you missed Contest University, that was the Thursday before Dayton. So that was May 14th. If you go out to contestuniversity.com and take a look at their website, or if you go to dxengineering.com, their YouTube, if you go to DX University's YouTube page, they recorded and streamed all of the presentations for Contest University on their YouTube site. So DX Engineering's YouTube website, they've got all of the presentations there. If you missed Contest University, they're all there. So I just wanted to say that. And then anything else, any other general announcements from the floor, I will pause here for a little bit more time so you guys can put your presentation. Dale says, great job, Bill. Thank you. Pam, great presentation, Bill. Very useful information from Bob and Pam. Any more general announcements? Kind of looking at my screens. I got two screens going on, so I'm going back and forth between my screens. That's why I'm bobbing my head. You're probably thinking, why is that kid so spastic? Jeff Greenwood signing off. Thank you. All right. We're going to sign off for May. More information about Field Day is coming out, so be looking for that. We'll be sending out an email about the virtual breakfast that you can participate in. And again, sign up for those email lists, or that the email mailing list, so we can get a hold of you and tell you what's going on, and then also on the Facebook and Twitter accounts that we can communicate with you. Go ahead and follow those accounts so you can get the latest club updates. So very good. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it. The TechNet Bill says the TechNet on Thursday. Yes. So Thursday, very good, Bill. I totally forgot about that. The TechNet on the 146.85 repeater, that is Thursday, May 28th. Any questions you got related to technical items, ham radio items, that kicks off at 7:30. I forgot. I think it's 7 o'clock. The TechNet kicks off, and then Scrabble. Yeah, we got the Scrabble on the 30th. Bill, you got to keep me honest on the time for the TechNet. 7:30. 7:30. Thank you, Rebecca and Bill. 7:30 on the TechNet, and then Scrabble is May 30th from 5 until 7 p.m. Start on the 8-5, and then you can rotate around. So anyway, that is it from the basement of my house. So 73. See you guys later. Thank you.